story made national headlines. It's a twisted tale of kidnapping, torture.
Back in the 90s, Laura's husband locked her and her children in this garage for months, where he beat, starved, and tortured them.
This morning, we are meeting a survivor and an inspiration to so many.
I knew we were going to die.
Laura Cowan will share her story with details never before revealed in a half-hour show on the Discovery Channel.
We started actually nailing the door shut to make sure that we didn't come out. He raped me.
Can you explain what makes somebody stay?
I know, and it's everybody asks, why do women stay? And there's so many different reasons. It's not.
She mentioned women. Why do women stay? It ain't just women, it's men too.
You heard she said that he took the nails and started hammering, locked them in the room. That's what he did to y'all, Mike, because Mike said that already on.
Yeah.
He mentioned it. All y'all mentioned it. So it's like
everybody, yeah. Marcus did. This was like way back in the day.
Yeah, he been said that.
So but when you played that clip and she said women, it ain't just women, it's men too.
Yeah.
This day. So
we want to go at first. Well, first of all, we
so
just started. But I don't know. Just go. We just gonna go. Ain't no particular order.
Okay.
Let me start with the list that we was talking about.
Yeah.
Let me
start with we're gonna start with a list of media entities Laura Cowan has went to and told lies plus used our family in them. And when I mean by use, how she's used our family, like if you've ever watched any interview that she's in, her stories, none of them are consistent.
None of them.
And none of them. And like, for example, like she'll be talking, an interviewer ask her a specific question and she doesn't answer the question. She'll start talking about us. That's what she does. And I noticed that a lot. And if she's not doing that, she's showing pictures of us, or either she's giving it to news stations. And speaking of news stations, I just wanted to mention real quick, I did reach out to one of the news stations and did speak to an individual there. I'm not going to mention his name, but it was, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, right? I spoke to him.
I think it was Tuesday.
And pretty much, I'm just going to say that, when talking to him, it was just a bunch of excuses. That's what it was. Like, it was like, we didn't know. She said that you guys was her children and we didn't know. We just believed her and took the pictures and the paperwork and believed people at face value. And so I said to him, I said, wait, you're telling me that you're a news station and you've been to school in a professional field for this stuff. And you telling me that when somebody give you a picture of other people's children or documents on other people's children, you believe them at face value and you don't do no deep dive journalistic research? And he said, I mean, that's just what we do here, which I think that he was only telling me that because he think all of us is stupid, because I believe behind the scenes, she's told people that none of us have no sense and we're stupid.
Yeah, so I believe that too.
I believe that she felt like, I can just take it and use them because they're not going to do anything. Because by the way he talked, it was nothing, any and everything I asked him, it was nothing but excuses. And it was really frustrating to even speak to him. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, you telling me.
I listened to you and I was like, man, this guy tripping.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me you took her story at face value that our sister, older sister Lakeisha, and our brother Marlon was her children, and you went and you did a news clip and you put both of them in the news clip. As she was standing there talking, I was explaining to him about what happened in the home. She was talking about herself and her children. But then when you look at the screen, the news reporter flashed Keisha's picture in a hospital nightgown sitting on a bed, and then Marlon's picture in front of a door with that big old bruise on his head. And I'm like, how do you do that? Oh, they said we didn't know. That was the excuse. And I don't find that, to be honest with you, that's not a good enough excuse for you to use people, to put that stuff on TV, and then you go with all your ratings that people is watching, and the FCC is giving you government grants and all that stuff. I don't see it. I don't see it. Just like we spoke about Tamron Hall, I don't understand how could you go and have a headline with her husband did such and such to her, and then you go back and you say her ex-husband is incarcerated doing 82 years for what he did to her, and that ain't even true.
None of it's true.
To put up some headlines, like that, to say that I'm gonna just tell you this: if you marry, you wouldn't like it if somebody sat up and told you, and this goes for Tamron too, if somebody made up some false headlines and put it on the news, that individual was your husband and they're not. That's foul. So try to put yourself in our mother's shoes. Whatever her and dad's relationship was, that's what it was, and all of us knew certain stuff and some stuff we didn't know. But the thing is that was their relationship. But for somebody to go sit up and say that this woman was somebody else's wife and put it in the headlines, think about how she feel, and then think about how you would feel if it was done to you.
That's true. That's true.
So we're going to go ahead and get back into the notes, starting with the list of media entities that Laura has went to and told lies on us and included our family in it. Fabricated stories, made up false stories. And the thing is, I don't even know how half the stuff that she did that people bought into it. I just don't know. So I'm going to start off with...
I know the first one is the LA Times paper. Only reason why I want to mention something right quick, that is the I believe Laura was using that on her foundation page, and that's the one they did that video with. Remember, she said the LA Times, and we played this at LA Times, so that's also connected to that video on her page she took down, I believe. But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was a LA Times interview on her foundation page, and what happened is it clipped into her talking, and while she's talking, it shows pictures of 8 of our siblings, 3 of Lakeisha's kids, and then it shows pictures of mom and one of mom's friends.
And also it plays that recording of Sharon.
Then it plays the recording of Sharon. That's what it does.
But she plays like it's her son, but it's not.
Yeah. No, she was doing that for years. She was doing that
for years. Yeah.
I think what happened is there was this show with Malik Yoruba that she was on Pt.1 some years ago. And when they played that video, they went and they took it down, because when I called to ask why did they not get in contact with us concerning some of the things that was going on in the house, they said because that's just what she told them. And she gave them paperwork. I don't know what type of paperwork she gave them. That's what I don't get. I don't know what type of paperwork she gave them. And as of today, you can't even view that video.
Nah, it's like a really short clip. It's like what?
It's like 18 seconds.
Yes, it's real short. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even view it. So, and I know why you can't view it, because they found out that video with Sharon in it, that recording that she gave, they found out that wasn't her son. She didn't tell the truth about that. But you mentioned the LA Times. She's done several interviews with the LA Times, because I got one of the LA Times newspapers.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a whole LA Times. It's about 3 pages. So LA Times is one of the entities that she gave some false information to and used us. She gave Press Enterprise newspaper false information and used all of us. She gave People magazine, which was a article for the girl in the garage. She gave them some false information and used us as well. And then she used Enterprise News and was on their news station, gave false information about herself and us. And then this site, Breaking the Chain, is a deep one right here.
Yeah, that is.
So I called the individual that owns that website, Breaking the Chain, because, and I have the entire a letter that she wrote, screenshot. And what she did is, it's a website called Breaking the Chain. Anybody of any type of abuse, and nobody is excluded because we live in a world where this stuff happens. She went on their website and she posted that her name is Laura Cowan and this is my story. So maybe one day, you know, we'll be able to read it and share all those clips with everyone so they can see. So she posted, her name is Laura Cowan, this is my story. Immediately at the top, she starts off with mom talking about our mother. Then she talks about dad. Then she goes down and starts talking about all of us. And that's your story? How is that your story?
And dad wasn't even convicted when it comes to her and her children whatsoever.
No. But I'm saying, just to go and use all of us in an article and then go after that at the top, the title is, my name is Laura Cowan, this is my abuse story. But use all of us. She didn't even talk about herself or her kids in that article. And she, if she did, she probably, I mean, it was probably like little bits and pieces.
Yeah, small stuff, but it wasn't, yeah.
But it was really nothing, but she talked about us. So I did get in contact with the lady that had that article on her website. And the reason why I got in contact with her, because I didn't see it as being fair, as not speaking to both sides. You just speak to one side. And you got 13 other people, and you got this one person, because the other 3 people, her kids, they don't know anything. They just piggyback off of everything she tell them to say. And it's like, why would you put something up there and keep it up there for all those years and then say it was a long time ago? It doesn't matter that it was a long time ago. You did it and it's wrong, and you're still doing it. You're still doing it. And I had been asking this individual to take down the article for about 10, 11 years, and she would not take it down. She finally took it down. It came with some repercussions, but she took it down. And guess what? I still got it screenshot.
Yeah, I know that.
Yep. So moving from Breaking the Chain, Film Fugitive had an article that she was in.
Yeah, and I think it's Film Fugitive, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't read the whole thing because I was trying to look for her information. And she said something up there, if I'm not mistaken. She said 5 years on that one.
She said 5 years. She said she was held captive for 5 years. But it's, the thing is that she said 5 years. But like I told you, we all know this, there's no consistency at all. Yeah. Everything that we see on TV that she's done in articles, it's not just one solid true story. Everything is just all over the place. All over the place. So in that Film Fugitive article, you're right, she said 5 years, and I'm just like, oh, I remember when somebody was like, oh, it's 5 years now, huh? Because at first it was 4 years, then it was 3 years, then at one point it was in 1989, 1985. And so I was just like, this is weird. So then there's articles in the Los Angeles Times, articles in Legislative Information System. There's articles in Crane's Cleveland Business Journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's an article in there. Fox 6 News information in there.
And I was
Milwaukee.
Like, and she everywhere, like, yo.
Then Cleveland News, WKYC 19, Cleveland News, WKYC 3, Cleveland News, WKYC 4, Cleveland News, WKYC 5, Cleveland News.
Did she go out, Anna?
Wow. She's narrating stories more than Morgan Freeman, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she keeps, changing the whole narrative. It's not even embellishment or conjecture. This is just an outright lie.
Yeah.
Stringing everybody along. All they got to do is go and look at all the information. Huh?
I think you had went out for a minute.
Yeah, it did.
First of all, I think you had went out for a little.
It did. It just came back in.
What did?
The internet went out.
Oh, who's mine?
Okay.
No, mine.
Oh, okay.
Just for a little bit. But we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, so
Cleveland, WKYC 9, and then Charles White podcast. Now she was on Charles White podcast, and that was like really disgusting, that topic, what they was talking about, because they was talking about a victim that had been through multiple sexual assaults. And I spoke to that individual, me and Rick, and the individual kind of played us like he really didn't know what was going on, which I believe he did, because he's been out there for a long time. And he said he was going to call and ask her some questions, never called us back, which we expected. I don't expect none of them to really call us back and fix the story.
But like you said, fix the story. The strange part is that all these people see this story talking about children. That is the main theme here. And her story is talking about children, not about the abuse that had supposedly happened to her. Because we already got the receipts and the evidence, that I know, at some point you guys are going to move forward with that and start showing some sound bites, the factual sound bites of information, and from a credible source. And in the meantime, everybody's getting information from the most credible source anyway. You guys are the facts. You guys are the source of information. You guys knew what was happening. Any other information that was relied upon in the trial or wherever they got information, it came from you guys. It was relied upon. So you guys have the information. You guys are walking, living source of that information. And, it's funny that all these shows, they never go back and say, what about the children? And so that right there rings shows a red flag, for me. And I was just thinking, just as a normal person, regular person, just thinking about how could you do that? And then by me being a therapist, former drug and alcohol counselor and mental health and the training there, there is no way you're not going to go for the children first. And it's because they're the source of the information. They are the victims year in and year out. You got this lady on shows keep changing her narrative, and people are appealing to it because they're up under the illusion that, she's a victim. But watch closely. She's talking about the other victims and why, and the things that she says. She has to discredit the other victims, say they're mentally challenged and all kind of other things. And matter of fact, they even abuse me. Kids. She's used every trick in the book. The fact that she's a grown woman, that was a side piece that ran up in another woman's home, another family's home, and got to talking crazy to the children. And I wonder how they go like that and trying to take over. And so when the children say everything, look, the abuse that you guys went through, it wouldn't make any sense for you guys to say that she's an abuser when she was there. If she was there helping you all, because you guys would be, that would be the biggest one of some gigantic relief. because I'm saying it's funny because it's other people that came around that gave help.
Yep.
You know, several other people that was, you know, during that time and stuff like that. You know, and actually I know I'm one of them, but you know, and it's something because, you know, but not knowing, I didn't know she was there when the stuff went down, when all the abuse, you know, was happening and stuff like that. So, and the stuff that, and the abuse that she was doing, that she was involved with. And so how can these shows just sit back and let her just run this stuff off her mouth? Just say all these different things without, let me check your story. Because if she come and talk to me, I'm going to evaluate her. And, you know, when you have somebody and you have all these things that you guys say that she did, just like when she was on the Dr. Phil show, I didn't have a refrigerator. She had a refrigerator in the police report. You know, she said everything that 13 other kids said, factual witnesses, victims, that they said she didn't do any of those things. Now, statistically, that's a red flag right there. Because if I say somebody did 25 things and they say, oh, I didn't do not one of those 25 things. No, you even said I brushed my teeth this morning and I didn't brush my teeth or whatever, you know, all these different, hey, listen, it's some things that they definitely did. If they're categorically denying everything, well, guess what that means? That all these things they're categorically denying are the things that happen. Yeah. And these people that are educated on these shows, are you guys just for money?
Pretty
Is that
much.
what you're for?
Yeah, ratings.
Victims? Is that how foul you guys are?
Yeah.
Are you guys involved in that kind of stuff? Because I'm sure there's people out there that's involved in that kind of stuff. But if you're not part of that, you got to set yourself apart from that. And you need to step up and you need to set this stuff straight with these children that are adults now, because the tide is turning. Things have been revealed so many different places from the darkest secrets ever that's been popping up now lately for the last couple of years.
Stuff.
And people thinking, is it going to get better? Go ahead.
Yeah. Things we didn't even know anything about. We're thinking that we're just watching these little like YouTube podcasts, but just things we didn't know anything about that we're finding out about. And then from doing your own research, calling and talking to people, and people are telling you things, which I'm not going to get into detail, but things that she's saying to people behind the scenes is really shocking. Some of the stuff she's saying. Right. She's saying all these things. I know what liars do. Liars turn victims into monsters. They say all this foul stuff. So when people hear this stuff, wow, they did that. Oh, they're the evilest person around. They would automatically, you would think that. But, you know, because this person is, you know, perpetrated as an advocate, and I don't know who she's advocating for, because where are the kids that she's advocating for? Where they at?
You would think she would do that.
I don't know. But we're talking about this case was about children being abused. And, you know, in her situation, abuse situation, well, you know, the thing is that, you know, I'm going to drop a bombshell tonight. And, you know, because she, you know, the stuff that she's saying, and the facts to it, you know, she's saying all these different things, and she's, you know, she keeps changing everything, and we know that all these lies that, you know, that none of this stuff is coming to fruition, and all these things that the victims are saying are coming to fruition. The things, you know, one of the things is that, if everybody don't know by now, I'm the one that drove the vehicle to the post office, and we drove many, many places for several months of the year. What was that? 2000?
1999.
99. I'm like, I'm back. Yeah, because it's 90. Yeah, because I'm just saying, and they both were talking about 2000. When the year 2000 comes in, all this is gonna happen. Yeah, all this is coming to happen. And they had a thing going on like there was Nostradamus. Both of them, they just knew what was happening for 2000. And so all these times going up and down and driving up and down the mountain and being at the house, it's funny because how does she not remember me? But she's seen this lady.
I think she do. I think she do remember you. I think she's trying to steer clear away from people actually knowing the truth.
Right.
Because recently, like we was telling you, is that she had been saying for years somebody distracted him. Somebody walked up and distracted him. And one lady used God bless her soul, but it didn't happen like that. But one lady commented on that, and she said that was God using an angel to do that.
Right.
Because she said that it was somebody that just popped up out of nowhere. But
4,000 feet at a very super rural post office. That's a little hole in the wall. That's small, very small. That would just pop up and know him from way back. But you know,
God, look. The thing is that I believe she's been coming to this podcast and she's picking up little things because I talked to Keisha and I was telling Keisha things that was going on. And Keisha was like, I mean, it's obvious that she could possibly be going to the podcast because now she got to change her story. So just recently in an article, she said, no, not in the article. She told Tracy Potts that it was an acquaintance of his.
Yeah.
It walked up and was talking to him.
Right. And since
she had never said that.
Right. Never said that. Since I've been on the podcast, the story changes.
Yeah. She had never said that. Never.
And it's like, you know, it's funny because it's time, you know, Laura, if you're watching, we're coming for you. For all the lies, all the deceit that you've told, all kind of different people, even your own children, you have them deluded. They don't know anything but what you told them. They were very small children. The Bodie family, those children were older. They have memories of that situation. Every last one, down to the youngest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely have a memory of it. And the thing about it is that, you know, I know you're going to say, you don't know me. I wasn't up there and all this other kind of stuff. You know, this kind of, because I'm saying you're going to have to lie. You know, you got to lie. But you know why?
She's not going to be able to get out of this one, though. Because
oh, no.
Why are you lying? I just want you to explain this. You explain that right there.
Bam, that was the picture.
That's the picture. He was up there.
That's the acquaintance right there.
That's the house right there, too.
I wonder who that is. Oh, I know they got. Oh, that's me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody see? Can you see me now? $2 say, can you see me now? Okay. Picture me rolling to the post office and her rolling, all of us going there. So how you gonna lie about that one? So there we have it. And it's funny because, you know, I was just listening to Frankie Beverly and Mays and doing this. I don't know if this is going to pop up because my daughter gave me this. You can't see that one pretty clear, but you see the sun is shining. And there's, you know, that's the golden time of day when I was up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so explain that one. We want to see you explain that. I'm like,
it ain't just that. Be reminded.
Lucy,
that ain't that's not it. That's not it. There's more.
Oh yeah, there's more pictures. There's more to come. More.
Yep.
So there we go. And so what? Oh, I know it. Oh, then guess what it's gonna be? We think all the way she's gonna say this is AI generated picture. This is AI generated. So get close. Let's get real close. And this is one that just printed out. And I was like, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. So when AI generated, we'll just look into those reflections in the glasses, and we're going to see what the reflections are showing out. They're pretty good with AI, but they're not that good. You're not doing that.
Mm-mm.
You know, because, you know, like, let's see that photo. Let's see the photo.
Let me go back to
Let me see that. Thank you. And so here we go. There goes the actual photo. Okay. What? Anybody want to test this? Who want to test it? You know, because if you test this photo, I tell you what, I'll let you test it if you think it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's fake, I'm gonna give you $10,000. But if it's real, you're gonna donate $50,000 to the Bodie Family Foundation. I'm waiting on any takers, any network. You guys got deep pockets. Here we go. Guaranteed. So that's an open standing challenge right there. There's the picture. So
getting back to the
yeah, I know you talked about Charles White.
Charles White.
Yeah, and the fact, and like he talked about Keisha, and he was laughing because they were talking about the rape and stuff. And they were laughing.
Yeah,
they talked about mom, and they
gave
like
me
mom
the
was
chills.
dumb, and it was ridiculous. It was disgusting.
If he's
like
laughing as a grown ass man about a rape victim,
and you know what he said? You know what he said? He said we didn't mention no names. I said we all knew when we was watching it who you was talking about, and you talked about the likeliness of it. Everybody knows who you're talking about when all 13 of us is sitting around looking at it. And when you mention our mother, we know who you're talking about. Because Laura done went and told everybody, so we know what you talking about. And I told him, I said that was an invasion of our privacy.
Right.
You know, and so he said, I'm sorry about that. Sorry ain't enough. That's all I'm gonna say.
And laughing about it.
Hold for a second. I think he took the video down. Right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to check. Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles White, I got one thing for you. It's like Pt.1, and I'm not advertising, throwing out no plugs, but as Samuel Jackson say, what's in your wallet? Because something is really strange for you to laugh about an abused victim, a raped woman, female.
It wasn't just him. Laura was sitting up there.
A child. How would you feel if your daughter, your sister, your mother was raped? Would it be funny to you?
But it wasn't just him. Laura was sitting up there smirking too. She turned it into like it was a soap opera. She was talking about how the plot thickens.
Well, I mean, we can see she's a sociopath. All everybody got to do is watch stuff she's done, watch what these kids say, and go get the DSM-5.
Also, what I want to point out on the Dr. Phil show, when I went back and I was watching a couple of clips, and y'all was talking about she wasn't raped by dad, whatever, and Laura, she sat back. Oh yeah, there was rape going on in the house, and then how
that was directed towards Keisha.
Yeah, that was someone that. Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, she dropped the love. She dropped that love.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was for her
wholehearted
to do certain things to tick us off. That's what it was. That's why I'm saying all of us, and I think I mentioned it before, need to keep ourselves protected. Like I told all our siblings, keep all your social medias blocked. Don't allow her in your life to gleam upon your family, your kids, none of that. Just keep everything blocked, because the things that she knows even after the fact of that trial ending and all of that, how she got pictures of Keisha's kids and put them on her website. And not just that, but she got pictures of mom, and then got pictures of mom's friend inside of their house. She got pictures. And that's a felony here in California. You can't go in nobody's house and take pictures in somebody's house without their consent. But the worst part is that you got pictures of babies, 3 of them that was minors, and put them on the page to try to make the audience believe that those was little children being abused. These children have rights. They didn't have nothing to do with that case. They weren't even born.
That's violating children victims' rights in every state it is.
Yeah.
Every state.
Yeah.
So wow.
And then Terry Crumpton was another one. This Hollywood in the Hood guy. I sent him a letter about the likeliness that he used of all of us and some of the foul things that he allowed on his podcast. And again, like I told you, still hear crickets from that one right there. He hasn't said anything concerning that matter at all. And it makes you wonder, like I said, about people like, who are you? Who are you to do something, like that?
His show, Hollywood in the Hood, whatever, way back when Laura was up there. And y'all really need to dissect that, people out there, and really, it's still on YouTube, I believe. And really listen to what she's saying. She said she walked in a situation with her eyes wide open. She knew what she was getting into. This is what she said. And she said that her husband sent a protector over her. That's all that stuff is just she's just lying, just to cover her butt. So, yeah.
Why would her husband send dad as a protector over her when they all knew each other already? That doesn't even make sense. They all knew each other already. And then you wanted to go into the relationship. You knew what you was getting into. Your eyes was wide open and you wanted it to work.
Yeah, she said that. I want it to work.
Yeah. Then she was on Meredith Vieira television show. She got free groceries for a whole year and a house full of furniture because they showed a clip where her children were sleeping on the floor in her home. But look, check this out. Now, she claimed that her children were sleeping on the floor when she was living in Moose's home. So what happened to them sleeping on the floor once she had them? That's what I don't get the difference.
And that whole thing with her saying she was sleeping on the floor when they came out there, I hope I'm not jumping too soon, but I know that all y'all went grocery shopping, right? Like a couple of days before all that happened, and she went and she trashed the whole room.
Oh,
yeah. When we get into
that's the whole scenario there.
I want us to go to
we got a video of me, Keisha, Sharon, and Marcus up there in but it's going to be more details of that and more pictures is going to be shown. We already shown a few, but some more. But
that situation there, it was crazy because we went a couple of days before, no more than 3 days that she threw this food out because we went to the store and got so many bags. I really never seen nobody do that much shopping. 6, 7, 8 bags because I was like, this is ridiculous. Loaded up the whole van. Now, and that was her stuff. I was like, that's her stuff? And I thought she was, doing
that's how she shopped.
Everybody, at the house. And so so 1 or 2 days later, we came back that night, him and I, she wasn't with us. And then they were telling him that she threw away the food. All the food is outside. All the food is outside. He didn't believe it. He didn't believe it at first. So they kept saying it. And I guess what he said, well, she's done it before. It's nothing new. So we went outside and had coyotes up there too. And I was like, man, they got coyotes out here. Are we going out here? So then, the coyotes, they left. And so we went outside by this rock because they had big boulders. I mean, these gigantic boulders up there. And she had all the food that was there that we had just took her down to the market and purchased was just thrown outside over there. So that right there is like, what are you doing?
But the morning of April 6th, is that when those sheriffs entered the home and they questioned all of us, we told them the whole dynamic of the family. And we didn't get into like real deep details because certain stuff, of course, they asked us, we didn't answer. But, they went out there and they saw all that stuff over there in the field. I don't think they took pictures of it or none of it. I don't even know if they even cared. But the night that happened, you and Dad had left and went somewhere. I don't know where. And I remember it vividly because we was in the dining room area watching either Liar Liar or it was another movie, Jim Carrey movie. It was Liar Liar,
Right.
or Dumb and Dumber. One of those we was watching, and it was a lot of knocking up against the wall. A lot of knocking. So Mom was in the room with the door closed, and we kept going to the room, knocking at the door. Mom was like, "What is it?" We was going in the room, telling her she had put on her coat and her boots. She was taking bags. I mean, like, you know, the big hefty trash bags.
Yeah,
the 10,
30, 33 gallons. Probably
She was dragging bags outside.
I can imagine all that food that she purchased.
She was dragging them outside, and so. All I knew after that is that when he got in, me, Keisha, and Tiffany came out and opened up. You know, the gate was huge. Opened up the gate and he pulled in. And so we just told him some stuff. And then he came in and him and her was out there talking. And he was asking her, why was she doing that? And then he was like, look what you did to the room. There was holes in the wall out there. There was the whole floor had been torn up. Carpet that was put down on the floor was torn up. The walls was torn up. Stuff was just ransacked, thrown everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. And it never
sounds like a setup.
Yeah. It never looked like that. And when we tried to tell what happened, everybody told us that was involved in this case. Well, it's not about her. It's about him. She's the one who wrote the letter. We're after him. Don't even speak about her, or they would just ignore us.
And nobody, that's bad because you know
nobody, and even till today, I've had conversations with them about. We told you guys things that she did, and you guys just didn't even listen to us. And you know, when I sit right here now talking about it, it's like there was not, she didn't care about us in the home, everybody. You guys, you know, she wants to paint a picture in movies and in articles that she gave us food. She played games with us. We never played a game with her in our life. I couldn't even name a game because we didn't have no toys. And she said it in her own interview that when she met us, she didn't see no toys. Usually kids had toys. She didn't see no games. She didn't see no books. But then you go and put in a movie lives that you played games with us. And we was outside playing. We barely went outside. You know, then she said she gave us food. Never an ounce of food. An ounce. Never an ounce of food did she give us. Never.
Why in that movie, hold on. In that movie, she portrayed like, in that movie, she portrayed like she fed everybody like y'all at the table. But y'all never sat at tables, so she played it as if she fed y'all and she helped y'all out, and she did.
Never.
And this is being spread everywhere through social media and every place.
Never.
Once again, why would kid victims be lying about somebody that fed them or that played games when they didn't have a childhood of playing games? That would have been some gigantic relief. That would have been some peaceful times, some experiences to talk about. But she's saying this, and every last one of them categorically deny it ever happening. That's what you have to deal with. That's what people watching this show and information, because I know they want to come here to find out the truth to the matter, what actually happened. So this is what you're dealing with. You ask those real questions. You know, it's like you ask AI a question the first time, it'll lie to you, probably something. But then you got to refine the question. Give me a history of this, and they've given you all the history of it. Then after you give all the history comes forward, AI gathers all the information. Then it comes back with the truth. It has no other choice. And with the situation with her situation is like, wow, it's constantly evolving. And so I think she's it's getting hot. Things are getting hot for her now. And she's going to use some things. She's going to probably just disappear, go on a hiatus, in the word of hiatus, she's going to hide.
But the stuff that she has put out there is not going away.
No, it's already there.
That stuff's got to be dealt with. That stuff
it's out there in perpetuity.
It's false. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. But getting back to the house, you know, if I could sit right now with all of our siblings and we talk about what happened and then we talk separately, all of our stories would be the same. Every last one of them would. Because when we started coming on my brother's podcast, it was so many of them that spoke and so many of them didn't. Then we spoke over the phone. And all he was saying was that how all of our stories was just the same. Because he didn't know a lot, about what was going on. And it was just, even when we got together, even before I came up here on the podcast, I was looking at some of the videos and I was like, wow. Everything exactly how every last one of them speak. Trust me, it happened.
You guys even finished another a sentence about things they're talking about that happened.
Yeah.
That's when you know truth is out there.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I don't care. And I don't care what nobody say, is that we lived in the house behind those doors. And there's a lot of people in the media that didn't. And you don't know how this person was and what we already had. Two parents that had issues, but you got to look at when you have a third person come in, how much that impacted us all. When you have a woman telling your father on you, why would kids like you if they're starving and you see them stealing? When you help a child, that's what I would do.
But she was there, like I said in all previous videos, she's standing right there as y'all. She's claiming y'all stealing food, but she right there every time.
And why are you standing there watching?
Starving children.
And it sounds weird because when she says they will wait at night and go steal food, Richard, wait at night and go steal food, and then they would go in the refrigerator and steal food.
She should have said the kids were hungry. Hungry children would go take food. Then they have the right to. She said no, they were stealing food.
Well, why are you standing there watching kids steal food every night? Who does that? Watching kids steal food out the refrigerator and cabinets every night.
And starve all night.
And standing there while kids are being beat, watching and recording it.
But when it happened to hers. But it never happened to hers because they would not be below the percentile of weight and everything. And
her daughter, listen to this.
How much she claiming she weighed?
Listen to this. Her daughter claimed that, this is our sister, she claimed that her mother weighed 120 pounds when she left the house. Now, our older sister was less than 120 pounds when we left the house. So, you was around, Laura, and I know all of us was. So all of our eyes ain't tricking us to what we saw.
Definitely.
So how was you 100? That is like a big old, the lie blatantly, a big old bold face lie.
For me, if she was even in the hundreds, I would speculate. She's like way past 180, 200. She was quite robust size, I should say.
And that's why it shocked me when she said that. I was like, what? Really shocked.
And so for her to say that she's 120, her daughter saying that, you said, who said that, Taz? Yeah, for her to be saying that,
she posted it. She posted it.
She would not even know unless she's got that from her mother telling her that, because she was not even old enough to know what weight was even. She was not in a conscious state. So she just parroting some stuff that her mother told her to say. If that is even her saying that might even be one of her other stunts. I get on my kids' social media and I pretend like them, and I start doing, what do you call those people that be talking for other people?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to say this: the other daughter, when she was on that show. When she had her other two kids, her son, her other daughter, her daughter said on that show that he was angry all the time, mentioning dad. But when I did some research, Laura mentioned that same thing in the video of him being angry all the time. And I put them together. I said, wait a minute. She told her that. Crystal, we go back. I forgot. I think it's in the video.
I remember.
We watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, she said the same thing her mother said. So that proved to me her mother told her. It's out there, y'all. I'm telling you.
She was 8 months old. She knew he was angry.
I'm talking about the
it
other.
was her other daughter. The other daughter, the one that was 2.5 when she left the home.
Okay. Well, there's 2.5. 2.5. She remember what was going on at 2.5.
Right. But look, getting back to the house where we talked about how she trashed the house. That wasn't unusual because other places we lived, she trashed rooms because there's evidence of it that somebody testified to in our family that stated that she wasn't a clean person and she would just take advantage of stuff and trash, stuff. So, going back to that night, him and her argued about what she did to the place out there. And he just said it didn't matter anyways, because nobody was going to believe her. So what was really shocking to me is that when she was being escorted out of the house, she had suitcases packed.
Suitcases?
She came in the house. Oh. This is what she did after she left out of the house. She came back in and she got Miriam because Miriam was in the room with Taz and Mom. She got Miriam. She tried to take Taz, and the social worker said no. Carolyn Crawford said give her back. And Laura was asking why. She said because that's a family court situation, and we're not going to intervene in that. So they gave Taz back to Mom. She don't tell people that. She just got people thinking that the police came, and she said she told Tamara we were out of there. She don't tell the story on how Taz was left with us.
That one blew my mind. I was like, why did they come back? They came back. I was outside watching and brought Taz back and handed her.
Because it was snowing. It was snowing up there.
And I was really scratching my head about that whole situation. I was like, what? I didn't ask why.
But look, she had luggage. She had her. That's why when certain things she said, I kind of like laugh at it and I kind of roll my eyes because we was there. We know what happened. But how are you a victim of all this mess and you got bags? All those luggage is packed. You're
that
taking bags.
That part is even.
And then went in the kitchen. She went in the kitchen.
She had. I don't know if she had help from somebody inside or something. This might have been a situation that
I don't know, but she went in the kitchen
inside
as well.
Of law enforcement or something.
Look, she went in the kitchen. There. She went in the kitchen as well. Got stuff out the kitchen, and then went and she took out maybe 2-3 suitcases. Came back and got some more bags. Yeah. Already was packed.
Because some of the officers came up there. That wasn't her first rodeo of meeting some of them.
No, it was a lot. It was a lot. And the other thing is that when she said that she had never been accused of any abuse,
right,
and that it was never mentioned, that's not true. It's always been mentioned, and it's still mentioned.
Yeah.
It's always been mentioned. And there's many police reports out there that both of them filed on each other. Many of them. And that wasn't the only picture that she showed. She the picture that she got the evidence that belonged to Dad's attorney, Mr. Morales, somebody gave her that picture. Somebody gave her that because she's not even supposed to have that picture because that was the works of her, not of him.
And I want to say y'all correct because we saw the minutes.
Yeah.
And in the minutes, it said that picture that she keeps showing of her son, that was Dad's evidence.
Attorney,
it says it
David
in there.
Morales.
Yep, it said it. Yeah, and I saw it. And we I have the minutes. We have the minutes.
Yeah.
We got some other stuff that we got too, but I'm gonna let Crystal announce that. But yeah,
we got a whole bunch of stuff. So, like I said, it's nothing but by the grace of God that all of this stuff, is happening now. But going to the other show. She was on Tamron Hall's show. We mentioned that with the fake headlines. Mm-hmm. She was on Tamron Hall's show February 20th of 2020. Mm-hmm. She was on Tamron Hall's show again. Oh, and then what I wanted to mention is when she was on that show in February 2020, she mentioned that he trafficked her. I caught on. I was like, huh? I caught on to it. I was like, how? Like I said, it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. So she was on Murder Unscripted, episode 38 and 39. And on that show, that's when she told a bunch of lies on all of us. She said that she had been in contact with us for years. Now, mind you, this show that she did, Murder Unscripted, episode 38 and 39, it aired in February, I believe, of this year. Okay, so when we was on the Dr. Phil show, Dr. Phil had asked her when she came out, has she spoken or seen any of us? And she said no, not since the trial. But not since the trial. We didn't even talk to her during the trial.
Exactly. I mean, last time y'all probably
saw her, we weren't even looking for her.
The last time y'all probably spoke or been around her for real was way back in the home. Yeah. Way back at the home.
That was the last time. That was the last time. And so when she mentioned to the guy Ed up there, she said we didn't like her. So when she said we didn't like her, and she said she was under surveillance 24/7. And she said the kids, they didn't like me. They was just against me. I was like, she trying to turn us into little predators. That's what she's trying to do. And so when Mike posted and told the podcaster that he was a malnutritious child that was being beat every day, and he was trying to figure out where his next meal was coming from. How could a child that was 55 pounds watch a 200-something pound lady? You know? How? So I'm saying that's how dirty she done got, is that she's making like little insinuations and saying little things. And when you looking, you got to look at these videos really good, because I do. And you got to listen really good, because I do. And the stuff that she be saying, I'm just like, no, wasn't like that at all. At all. And you know, the other thing is, okay, she was on going back to Murder Unscripted, episode 38 and 39 on YouTube. She said that she had been in contact with many of us for many years, because she wanted us to have something to do with Taz. Now, back in 2007, the only contact that I had with her is a fake contact. She kind of like catfished me. What she did is she went to my Facebook page and she messaged me, and I didn't know who it was. I thought it was Taz I was speaking to, but then I find out because Nikosi told me, look way at the bottom at the name, and I see her name, Laura Cowan. So then I see it on all the other lines, and I'm like, so immediately I went and I blocked her. And then Marlon and Sharon was telling us that she had went to their messengers and told them, let's all get together, how much she had missed us and wanted to catch up with all of us, which is something similar she left on my Facebook messenger, which I still got screenshot, and said, let's get together and all that, how she had a big house and a pool, and we could probably get together and write a book. So it was nothing just to just get everybody together to monetize off of us. So I was just like, no, thank you. We're not going to do that, you know? So, and then she was on, let's see, Anderson Cooper 460 with the detective guy. Okay. She was on Discovery Channel documentary half-hour series, Pt.1 television show, Malik Yoruba Held Hostage, episode 3. They took that off the air.
They sure did.
Also, the Dr. Phil show, we all was up there with her. She never copped to doing any wrong or being involved in anything. And I wanted to say again, we appreciate Dr. Phil for even giving us the opportunity to be on his show. Then Tracy Potts interview October 15th at Tri Community Eastern College. She used us all again and told more lies on our mother. Movie Delic's website did an interview on us, all of us. On her foundation page, she used everybody. Recordings of our sister, beatings, used our niece and nephew's picture, used 8 of our siblings' picture, used the entire likeliness of all of us. Told producers on the Tamron Hall show that Dr. Phil's show was the bad show and Tamron Hall's show was the good show, and she even posted it. Now, how nasty is that? All because you didn't want none of us to speak. So, you was on the bad show with us, but since we weren't on Tamron Hall show, then that was the good show.
Nobody there to challenge her.
Yeah.
Nobody there to call her out on her crap. All those lies.
Yeah. And then the Girl in the Garage movie took our story and changed it by twisting it. Lifetime used the likeliness of our story, used the figment of all of us, and they did this by scars that I noticed, and I'm not gonna say where, but I noticed certain type of scars. There was some things that was mentioned about our brother. I'm not even gonna get into that situation.
But right quick, right, hold on, right quick. The fact of that movie, they're talking about Girl in the Garage. We said on the show again, we'll say it again. Y'all was in her garage. You know what I'm saying? All that, he was opening the door and throwing food out y'all, giving y'all, giving her water and also her kids. That never happened. That happened to y'all.
What she did, I believe, because it's in the transcripts.
Yeah, it is.
Testimony. I believe she got a hold of court transcripts and she took things, bits and pieces of everything all of us said, and been putting it on herself, saying that happened to her. Because all the stuff that she says out of her mouth, just don't make no sense at all. Also, another thing, she was on Charlie White's podcast talking about mom's upbringing and mom's family. Now, I'm going to tell you something about mom's family. They're a Christian family, and her parents, mom's parents specifically, told our father that they did not want that lady coming around them or in their house, because that's not the way that they run their household, and they didn't raise their daughter that way. So she was having some attitude when we were in Virginia because she had to stay back at the hotel. And when she had to stay back at the hotel, she had the baby then.
Who was she with at the hotel?
She was there with Adrian.
And by herself.
Yeah, so they both could have left. They could have took Taz and they both could have left. We was at our mom's parents' house. They didn't want them in the house because that wasn't their belief. They didn't believe in that. They didn't raise their daughter that way. But she went and talked about a whole. The thing is that you got to look at two individuals that was married and still is married at the time. They was married for 25 years and they still are married. You got a person that's going out telling a whole story about mom, how she was raised, how she met dad, and she ain't even got the facts right at all. All of us know the facts, how they met and all of that. We know our mom's side of the family and all that. She's telling all types of stories on Charlie White's podcast about our mom, how she was raised, all that. Don't even know where she was even born at. Got that wrong. Just making up stuff. And but these media people, they sit and say, "Oh, well, we wouldn't think nobody would lie." Why would you say something like that? People lie in the media every day. We can pick them out. Susan Smith. We were just talking about Sherry last week. We was talking about the twins that's incarcerated now.
Lyle and Eric Menendez.
Yeah, for killing their parents. People lie in the media every day, and people find out about it. So what's all of these entities that we just listed and talked about? What is their excuse? They don't have one. They don't have one. She called mom stupid.
Hold on. It's way more than that. Because since we've been researching this, there's a lot of articles. I just want to let y'all know we're just naming a few, and that's the lot that we named, and it's way more than that.
It's a lot. Cal C. He was very happy. He was very happy. She went on Cal C podcast.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah. She went on Cal C, the older guy with the glasses. She went on his podcast.
You talking the guy with TV20? Is that it? TV20?
No. It's another guy. His name is Cal C. She went up there on his podcast, started talking about us and the likeliness and all that. He was sitting up there laughing. I was like, these people, that's weird. Who does that? Sit up there and laugh about abuse. I'm like, that's just weird. And then I came across an article, I think it was a week ago, where she stated online that women don't feel safe in Ohio. And my question is why would you go there? She said the pastors and the imam need that pastors and the imams need to come out of the churches and the pulpit and help people out by speaking on abused women. First of all, women ain't just being abused. Okay? And you can't all of a sudden take another family story and take it somewhere else and just start throwing it on a whole bunch of people, you know, and telling pastors and imams what they need to do, telling them come out of the pulpit and all of that when she was up in the pulpit lying. So I'm just like, that just don't make any sense at all. And then she mentioned that her daughter, she said both her daughters,
was
brutally beaten.
Brutally beaten. But we read that article in one of our older videos. We talked about that, and we read the article, and it stated that her older daughter, she only had a busted lip. Now I don't know what's in other articles that's out there, but in that one, it just said she had a busted lip.
And it didn't say both daughters either.
It didn't say both either. It didn't say Salimah was beaten whatsoever.
It said the one daughter has stitches in the lip or a busted lip and she had to get stitches.
But now all of a sudden they was beaten up so bad
and brutally. She said they was brutally beaten. Okay, so now we get into comments. So we have anything else, Rick?
I don't know. I'm going through the list you sent me because it's a lot. I'm trying to go through this. Just keep going because I know you had.
Okay, so now we get into comments. If you're out there looking or listening, this is at Jill Marshall 4718. She said she wanted to know why the authorities was not called on her. And so we're going to answer that question. The authorities was called on her, and it was called on her many times. And when they came out to the house, all of us did tell on her and what she was doing. So it was many times. So I don't want people to just believe that we're just saying things and that nothing was done about it or was no mention of it. It's always been a mention of it. Always. And there are police reports out there, several of them. Okay, so
yeah, and I want you to talk about what Laura. See, where everybody don't realize Laura didn't have any money.
No,
and she keeps saying that Dad caused her to be broke and all this crap, but she was living off of the money that was coming into the home.
Mm-hmm.
And
she didn't have any money when she came. When we moved out of her place and she moved in with us, she didn't have any money. And it was an article where she said that Dad
financially broke her.
Yeah, moved everything out, but she didn't have any money. But all the stuff that they had, they put it in storage. And she and him, they continued to sell that stuff. She had two.
What kind of stuff did she have that she was selling?
They had like Qurans, books, incense, frankincense and myrrhs, Your usual.
They have illegal stuff.
They had guns. Her and dad had guns.
And what did they? Okay, how were those guns? What did they look like?
Some of the guns, they were like hand pistols.
Yeah. Okay. And what were they in? What kind of? How were they packaged?
Boxes, wooden boxes, and with the ropes on the side of them.
Crates.
And what color?
Green. Mm-hmm. And this is what they would do. Him and her had the boxes up under the dining room table, so they sent everybody in the room, even mom. She was even in the room, and I remember coming out of the room. I don't know if some of our other sister and brothers remember, but they'll probably tell on their own time. But I remember coming out of the room a couple times, going to the bathroom and just peeking, and the whole dining room table was covered with guns.
And you said
they was cleaning. They was cleaning.
Was it rifles? What type of weapons were they?
Rifles, all types of handguns, semi-automatics. They had it laying on a sheet on top of the dining room table, and if somebody came out the room, they would take a sheet and cover it up.
But how many guns would you estimate? Or how many crates? You said they had. What size were the crates they had?
The crates was about this big.
And how long?
And it had the handles on top of them like ropes.
Mm-hmm. And how long were the crates?
Oh, long. They was long. Some of them was long. Some of them was small.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would be cleaning them. Matter of fact, they sold guns to some of the neighbors. They sold a gun to the landlord that we rented the house from in Lake Elsinore. They were selling guns to some of the people in the rural area that we lived in. Both of them was.
Where is ATF when you need them? They had her husband in jail for ATF. ATF got him. And here she is afterwards.
But she said she didn't know he was selling it guns.
Yeah. But then, and here we have this.
So it's a lot of stories, actually. The first story she told is that he didn't push the right paperwork. She said, but it wasn't him. He wasn't pushing the right paperwork, and that's what led to 5 years in prison. Then she said that he wasn't selling the guns. It was somebody else that was doing it. So it's some different stories, and the stories, they're not, consistent. But getting back to resources, Laura was living in our home off of resources that belonged to my mom for her children. That's another reason why she liked our father. He bought her whatever she wanted. Financially, she got everything she wanted. And she even told Terry Crumpton that on his podcast channel, that she stayed for financial stability. So, and she also mentioned that her husband was selling guns and that the FBI was watching them. And she said she found out because when they came to shop, they said that's how they caught him, because they was watching them. But what she didn't mention is her and dad was selling them too. They had crates of them.
What was his name again?
Who?
Her husband.
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, that's something, but that's really descriptive about the weapons that they continue to sell afterwards. But
I can't say this, that it is sad that he passed away because he had 2 kids, and that is sad that happened. But in the back of my head, I always wondered, what was she telling him in those letters, and what was she telling him on the phone, and then going back and playing those 2 men against each other? What was she doing? Because there's a ton of letters that our sister have, and there was a lot of threats that was being done. And it was a thing where he didn't want his son living in our home. He didn't want him there. He wanted him with his family. And so her son was sent away a couple times, and he was not up at the house when those detectives came up there. I don't know why they keep putting the story out like they removed. And that's another thing. That's another false headline. They keep saying that they removed Laura and her 3 kids from the house. There was no 3 kids that they removed from the house. The only person was removed from that house was Miriam and Laura. Taz was removed but was given back.
So she wasn't removed. I mean, she never left. They,
No, she didn't. But what I'm telling you is that they did.
Yeah.
Because mom handed her the baby, and the social worker was like, "Where's her coat?" and all of that. And mom was like, "Well, I got packed all her stuff." And she was like, "Well, whose child is that?" And she said, "That's me and Moose's daughter." She said to give her back. That's what Marilyn Crawford, the social worker, said. She said, "You file something in family court and deal with that." And that's what she did. She filed in family court.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we're down to this article.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of this, but I mean, unless you want to add something new to it, I believe we have
this article. It's a long article, but just little snippets of it, because a lot of this stuff in the article, it was funny because some of the stuff that they mentioned in the article, it was no way possible that he could do half of this stuff, because with law enforcement, I'm like, I just, some of the stuff I didn't get in the article that was written. It says you don't often walk into a Lifetime movie expecting to be left gutted, but The Girl in the Garage, the Laura Cowan story, is a chilling exception. Now, this article was done by Film Fugitive, and it was done September 20th, 2025. The film unravels the unthinkable horrors Laura Cowan endured: years of relentless abuse, confinement, and psychological torment that could break even the strongest spirit. What sets this film apart from the unusual made-for-television formula is its raw honesty and refusal to sensationalize tragedy for a cheap thrill. At the heart of this story is Paige Hurd, who delivers a career-defining performance as Cowan. Hurd portrayal goes beyond imagination. After spending time in conversation with Laura, she channels not only her pain, but also her courage and determination to protect her children. The result is a performance that refuses to let viewers look away, forcing them to confront the disturbing reality that such abuse can and does exist in plain sight. Okay, a lot of stuff I'm not going to get into, because I've heard all this stuff, how she left her hometown of Cleveland and moved to sunny California and the beaches where the sun is shining and all of that. But they said she met her husband, Shabazz, a deeply religious man with high ambition, and just 4 months into their relationship, he proposed to her at the site of a future bookstore he dreamed of opening. She says yes, and together they live a happily ever after life for 9 years, and then produced 2 children, Miriam and Ahmed, while running a flourishing bookstore that becomes a vibrant part of the community. But everything shatters when Shabazz is arrested for dealing in illegal arms, despite not being directly involved. So how are you not? I don't understand that. How are you not directly involved?
You're selling the guns.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sound like a confidential informant to me.
Possibly. And then it goes on to say that she moves in with Musa, crowded family home. She never moved in a home with us. That's another thing. So that's another lying headline. You know, she never moved into any home with us. She moved into his home with our mom and their 7 children. It was more than 7 children. And at first, Musa appears kind and devout, but Laura soon discovers he is not the man he pretended to be, and her life takes a devastating turn when she expects it, when she least expects it. Okay. Musa believes that God speaks directly to him, convincing himself that he is carrying out divine work by ruling his household with an iron fist.
And that's what we said up here. And that article came out September, right? This past
20th.
September. Yeah, and we mentioned up here, and we talked about that, how Dad would always say he ruled with the iron fist, and he said that in court. But
You've
we're
been
the ones
talking
that
about that ruling with the iron fist for a whole year.
Yeah, we have been.
Yeah. And so I was like, hey, as soon as I saw that, I said, somebody must have came up here and looked at your channel and then decided that they're going to use that phrase. Yeah. So I noticed that. And then it goes on to say that his children lived in constant fear, never attending school. That's another lie right there. Never means never. And that's a lie. We did attend school. Because he insisted on homeschooling them, claiming that formal education spreads propaganda that leads children astray from God. Dirt poor, and we was not dirt poor, and dependent on government. That's another lie. Assistant. Musa justified his control by declaring himself the sole provider, insisting that feeding the family twice a day should be enough, and forbids Laura from seeking work to support them. She never supported us, and he never told her that. Why would she be supporting us?
I know they mentioned in that article about the ranks, but I don't know if they explained it right though. But
whenever she shows kindness to his children, whether by playing games with them, again, that's another lie. We never played any games with her. Or if she would sneak them a sandwich, now you know that's a lie. Then outside his ranks, rules was broken.
But they don't even understand what that means, what Dad meant by that.
That has something to do with prayer, breaking the ranks.
Exactly.
That's what it had. It had something to do with family, prayer, and things that are private, keeping it in the family, not putting it out into the outside world. That's how we was taught. That's what ranks meant. It had nothing to do with any food or anything. So whoever, that's weird. So he states that when she would give us food, that Musa retaliated by punishing them more brutal, using fear to tighten his grip. Soon he decides that Laura's children should also be raised under the same oppression conditions, and when she resists, he escalates his control by ensuring she cannot leave the house or even contact her sister, cutting her off from the outside world entirely.
But hold on, hold a second. Did she have a cell phone?
Yeah.
How many cell phones did she have?
One that I know of, and a pager. One horrid night, Musa comes to her room, instructs the kids to go outside, and sexually assaults her and claims her as his wife. His justification for each of his actions is that God talks to him. Laura becomes pregnant, and as soon as she delivers her baby, Musa locks her and her children in the garage and gives the child to his wife to raise. They do not get to go out even to freshen up or bathe. They use buckets to urinate and poop, and Musa only lets them out when they're supposed to empty those disgusting buckets. He makes them dig holes in the backyard late at night and bathe in them. Months pass by, and Laura and her kids become impoverished beyond imagination. They barely got food, just enough to survive. And Musa comes in from time to time to sexually assault Laura while her kids wait outside for the night to be over.
But here's the thing. She said that she was writing this letter in the dark, and she would keep the letter in her underwear Okay,
Yeah.
he raping you at any time, constantly, all this stuff, and he never saw the letter. What did you do with the letter?
Yeah. So she says she manages to find a pen and paper in the garage, and she starts writing a diary.
And
She
also,
said
she found a tape recorder and everything as well in the garage.
everything she needed was right
It was in the
there.
garage. Okay.
Everything she needed was right there. That's crazy. And trapped in a small town with little access to the outside world, her chances seem impossible. Once during a rare trip to the supermarket, she musters the courage to scribble a plea for help on the bathroom wall, but when he catches her own reflection in the mirror, she fears overwhelming circumstances. Soon after, she discovers that Musa has even locked his wife and their eldest son in an adjacent garage. Ain't this crazy?
Right.
Said that Musa locked his oldest wife and his oldest son in an adjacent garage. Let me correct this too.
How's that possible?
Let me kind of correct this too. Mom, Dad, and Laura are not like older than each other to a point where they're like 5 years older than each other. Mom is probably 1 year older than Laura, and Dad is maybe 2.5 years. So when she keeps using the old lady syndrome and she says that, that's kind of bothersome because aren't you like 69, 70 years old? So I'm just like, let's cut it out with that, okay? So said she hid the notebook pages in her underwear, instructing her children to hold on to them if she doesn't survive, so someone will know the truth. One day Musa takes her to the post office. That's incorrect.
Yeah,
One day Musa takes her to the post office, and while he is distracted in conversation with an acquaintance. Ain't that something?
Oh, let's go back when it says something about that Musa locked his older wife and his eldest son in a shed.
Adjacent. Adjacent.
So I wasn't there. So how was I locked up?
Exactly.
Anyway.
That's another lie right there. Okay. When survival seems hopeless, faith finally shifts. Laura hides the notebook pages in her underwear, instructing her children to hold on to them if she doesn't survive, so someone will know the truth. One day, Musa takes her to the post office while he is distracted in conversation with an acquaintance. He sends her to post the letter. How did he send her inside to post the letter? If she said she wrote it and he didn't know that she wrote it.
Like I said, stories all over the place. That's all I can say. It's just messed up.
Yeah, and that's why I'm reading it so people can see how, that the stories aren't consistent. They're just everywhere. Laura summons every ounce of courage, discreetly lifts her dress and slips the pages to the clerk behind the counter. The woman instantly senses something is wrong as Laura walks out. Their eyes meet, and a stubble nod assures her that help is on its way. Days later, 2 detectives knock at Musa's door. Musa has a gun in his hand. This is crazy. Musa has a gun in his hand. Musa allows Laura to go out while the gun is pointed at the back of her head. That's ridiculous. None of that stuff happened. None of that stuff. Matter of fact, the gun that he did have in the house, it was a little small handgun, and the gun won't even load it. And that's even in the minutes.
And he didn't get charged for none of that stuff.
None of that stuff. No
He
pointing
didn't get charged.
gun. Nope. None of that.
And we're not taking up for him.
No,
We're just stating the truth because, like we said, our dad is in jail for what he did to all of us.
he's being punished. He's been being
Yeah.
punished. He's been punished already
Yep.
for what he did. You know, we're
We're
just
just
we're just talking about it. You know, letting people know that that she shouldn't have gotten away. That she should be in there as well with him. That she shouldn't have got away because a lot of that stuff she was a part of. And don't be saying, some people be making comments online that we're more mad at her than our own mother. You haven't even looked at this channel, so you don't even know. You don't even know inside conversations that we've had and all of that. And it goes back to just like you don't even know what Laura did in that home. So how you gonna come and make a comment and say that we're not mad at our mother, but we're mad at her? You don't know the way things go on in the inside and confidence between people.
And we have 2 videos
Mm-hmm.
up here. We talk about mom and how we felt about the situation. So
Yeah. So it says that he allows Laura out with a gun pointed at her head. And when asked to confirm if she wrote the letter, as soon as she does, he bolts towards the garage, intending on killing the children. I tell you, Rick. I mean, this is stuff. This stuff is like lies.
Yeah, this is just stuff for TV. So that's basically to get people to pull people into, to get views. So,
but I'm just saying, this is just like lies right here.
Yeah.
Then talking about the nightmare finally ends as Musa is dragged away screaming, telling Laura that he will kill her when he gets out.
Oh, here's the thing. Did she ever go to any parole hearings?
No. I asked our matter of fact, me, Keisha, and Tiffany and Sharon asked, did she write a letter or did she even try to come to parole hearing? And from what we was told from our advocate and the 2 DAs that was present at the hearing, they said they hadn't heard from her since the trial ended. That was in 2009. Nothing. Nothing. Now, all this stuff that you say that this individual did to you, which we know is not true, why would you not go to try to keep somebody in? Why wouldn't you write a letter? And then to say that all of us, we're still brainwashed and we're still up under his spell and we're never going to be free. Me and my sisters was all sitting down there at the hearing. And the 2 years prior to that, Marcus and some of our brothers and us, we sitting down there at the hearing, trying to keep him in there. So,
and we got the paperwork from last year's parole hearing, and he has to take some classes before he can get out. If they even decide to let him out,
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know this, and I know you know this. He's not never getting out.
He's not getting out.
He's never getting out because we've spoken about this several times. Is that he's not gonna ever cop to doing anything wrong. I'm gonna just tell you, he's not gonna cop to ever doing anything wrong. Our mother's not gonna cop to doing anything wrong, and Laura's not gonna cop to doing anything wrong. At least I can say this: we did get an apology from Adrian before she left to go to Cleveland. Mom's apology was done in front of the courts because I know the reason why it was done, to make it look a certain way. But outside of that, no apology has ever been received by them 3 at all. And you can tell me, I lived in the house and I know how the system works. All of us know because we've been involved with the system. And the system is not fair at all. And everybody knows that. They live on planet Earth. I don't care what's in those court papers. I don't care what people want to make up that's in the court papers. I know what I lived. I know what I lived. and I know what I saw, and what I saw, my eyes is not gonna ever unsee it, you know. So that's never gonna change. And like I said, you know, he's in there. It's his own fault that he's in there. Actually, to be honest with you, I blame them two for this whole situation, for this stuff being in the media, for not being smarter parents and not allowing the other individual in our home. I blame them. That's what I blame, both of them.
We've been up here for a minute, but
Yeah.
there's some other information that's coming forth. You want to talk about it before we end?
Yeah, we're having tomorrow our annual Thanksgiving feast. Bodie Family Foundation, 13 siblings, for families that's in need. And continuing working on this 2026 tour, speaking tour that will be going on. Also still in the works, working on a book, and still doing our lives like we're doing now.
And
So,
also, I want to say this: we are getting the actual transcripts,
mm-hmm.
and we're going to talk about that up here too. It's very deep. We're not going to show any pictures or anything, but we're going to talk about the cassette tapes. All the she recorded all the abuse in the home, and their interrogation. We're getting that, so we're going to talk about that to find out what she actually said, and we're going to get the actual letter this time. We've seen little pieces of it, but we're going to get the full letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The thing is, what I didn't like I had been telling you and some of our other siblings, is that everything just been a surprise to all of us. The not knowing. And then when you find out about stuff and you branch out to speak about it, you got individuals that want to get mad, you know. So, like I said,
she had help. They gave her that recording of Sharon, like I mentioned, and she
mm-hmm.
acts like it's her son. She was given pictures when your examination and everything, all that stuff. She was given that, and it was leaked. So,
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't. It wasn't linked. She said who gave it to her. She verbally said who gave it to her.
Yeah, she said that, but it could have been someone. It could have been that person and somebody else.
It could have been that person, like you said, and some other people.
Yeah, and we know who the other person is. So, yeah. Or they all like I said, the people that supported her on those shows, they're wrong for that because they know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're gonna end this. We've been up here for a good while.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back next week. So come back or just come up here and watch all our videos. We're gonna come up. Like I said, we got more to come. So
yeah.
Once again, everybody have a blessed day and a blessed night.
Good night.